So, as two millennial women ourselves, we've totally made our fair share of why did I just buy that purchases. And so we know that the pressure to keep up can be really real, but we also know how freeing it is to say no to some of these things.
So stick with us because we're not just talking about overpriced beauty trends or other viral things that you see on social media. We are talking about legitimate money wasters that combined together add up to $14,000 per year per person. And especially, I think by the end, you will be convinced that these are wastes of money. I don't think you'll need to get to the end. I think by like number 6, you will have a fresh perspective on what's actually worth your money.
You'll be bought in by then.
Welcome, Frugal friends. I'm Jen.
I'm Jill.
And we're in a new setting today if you're watching on YouTube because we had quite the ride at our office. And now we're at Jill's apartment.
Got kicked out.
And
the emergency signal went off and we left, but we brought some of our recording equipment with us.
And we are out of the office the rest of the week. And so this had to be recorded today. And so we're going to record it. We're going to talk about the total waste of money things that as women we are marketed to and told we need to spend money on, but they're actually draining our wallets with zero return.
But first, this episode is brought to you by Worth It. You know, like staying up till 1 a.m. to finish just one more episode, carrying 17 bags of groceries into the house just to avoid more than one trip, or driving all the way across town just for free guac, or my actual favorite, our budget spreadsheet. Worth it.
Wow, what a transition.
Yup. It's mobile optimized. It's our spending planner spreadsheet, and it is the perfect amount of worth it for you and your budget. It's perfect for those of us who want to track our money from our phones, but don't want to spend money on a budgeting app. It is beautiful. It has all the tabs you need to budget monthly. It allows you to see your full financial picture at a glance and even has perks like an opportunity cost calculator. Get yours at frugalfriendspodcast.com/budget.
Yes, do it. All right. So you've probably seen these waste of money videos around other podcasts, other YouTube videos, and sometimes it infuriates me what other people define as waste, because if you value something, it's not a waste. Just because it's a waste for one person doesn't mean it's a waste for you. And so in this episode, what we are going to define as waste is something that you don't use. It's not utilized or it's underutilized. That to us is a waste, because even if you value it and you purchase it and you don't use it, it's still a waste. And so that is what we have laid the foundation for all of these things. So I think some of them you're going to be a little shocked by, and maybe possibly we're going to start strong with the first one.
Yeah, if all you do is stay away from these particular money traps, you can save yourself $14,000 a year, approximately. We'll tell you how we got to that math. And the first one is groceries. That's right. Stop
Total waste
food.
of money. Groceries.
Yeah. So based on some average stats here, the amount of money spent per person is about $2,421 per year. Then if you look at the amount that is wasted, we're talking $728 per person per year in uneaten household food. So that's that unused category, and $728 a year. So even if we were
per person.
Yes. If we were to get better at eating the food we have at home, that's an amount of money that we could save ourselves annually.
Mm-hmm. And a big way that we say to do that, and there's a bunch of small different ways. There's a bunch of small different tips. The biggest way to cut down on food waste is to make a meal plan and then follow through with that meal plan. And I think the easiest way to follow through with a meal plan is meal prep. So whether that is prepping as many meals as you can in one day and eating leftovers, or prepping ingredients so that you take out a barrier to entry throughout the week when you are cooking, whatever works for you, that is what is going to cut down on the most food waste. I just recently had I wanted to do a marathon meal prep. So I made like 5 meals in one day to eat like throughout the week because I was like, I don't want to cook it all this week. And what I did was like I just looked at what I had because I'll buy like meats and stuff bulk at Costco. And then I looked at sauces and spices that I thought were underutilized or that I hadn't used in a while. And that is how I planned the meal like marathon. I did not go in with a strong plan. Like I didn't go into recipes on the internet. I literally just looked at everything I had, all the frozen veggies, and I just put things together. And that was I used so many underutilized things in my pantry and freezer during that marathon. It was so
And the
clutch.
food looked so good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And then we ate it all. Didn't waste anything. And I did not cook for like a week and a half. I know, right?
That's the best part.
I know. So, yes. So, number one, definitely grocery. And that's the largest proven unused category. So the rest of these are taken from data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics or other places that, compile usage. And then looking at statistics on what is statistically wasted and then doing the math from there. But it's not like hard data like food waste is. But the second biggest waste for women is credit card interest and fees. And we think that all credit card interest is a waste of money because if you can't pay your credit card off in full every month, then it's not a good thing to be using. Credit cards can get you great like travel rewards points, but it is not worth paying interest every single month. And even for fees are not a total waste, but I know a lot of people will travel hack like to the max and maybe not just like hoard points and not be utilizing them. In that case, if you're paying fees on multiple credit cards and you're not fully utilizing all of the benefits and all of the points, those fees are a waste as well. And so data shows that per person, per cardholder, cardholders pay $1,155 per person per year.
On just interest and fees.
On just credit card interest and fees. And so I would say probably like maybe 100, 150 of that is like for a new credit card every year. So then that is totally normal. But around $1,000 a year is wasted from credit card interest and annual fees and late payment fees, all those fees.
So if you've got credit card debt, getting rid of that can be huge for your money savings long term.
Yeah. And if you ever see a late payment fee, then going right in and calling, at this point, you don't even have to talk to a person to get the late payment fee taken off. I know I will get 2 to 4 new cards per year. And so that always comes with setting up auto payment again. And so recently I forgot to do that and I got charged a fee, but I hadn't done that in a very long time. So I just called up and I literally didn't even have to talk to a person. I think it already automatically knew that I had a fee and it asked if I was calling about it. And as soon as I like clicked yes, it's like, we've forgiven this fee. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is the easiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to anyone.
Oh, that's such a good tip.
Yeah. So don't pay your first late payment fee either.
Okay, number 3, personal care. You knew we were going to talk about it. It's not what the whole episode is, but products and services. So the spend per person per year is about $361. And while it's hard to kind of come up with a what is wasted, there's no kind of solid unused total that we could find. Here's some of how we can come to this number. So single females spend roughly $690 to $1,441, depending on their income, substantially higher than many other groups. And so the unused amount can definitely skew female, since we are spending more on
Yeah.
it.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah. So when it comes to personal care products, we're talking about makeup, hair, skin products. And so that's about $186 per year. Again, we can't really understand a total unused amount here, but surveys do frequently show that many products expire or are never used. And so we can understand that if women are spending higher, then we are probably unusing it higher. We are not,
We're saying this in a
wasting
very
more.
gentle way.
Yeah. And so that comes to a total of $547 spent per person. And so a widely cited industry estimate from a Vogue business report based on interviews with brand leaders puts product waste at about 20 to 40%, which can equal anywhere from $110 to $220 wasted per year. You know what? Let's be kind. Let's say $150 a year. That's still a decent amount of money.
And sometimes we think like, oh, that's not me. Surely that's not me. I don't spend that much on beauty services or beauty products. How do you waste a service? You know, probably on a service you don't need because you're just getting because somebody else told you to, or you're insecure, or et cetera, et cetera. That is how you waste a service. But we don't realize we're using it because we usually don't throw it away in the year we buy it. So like we're accumulating all this stuff slowly without thought. And then we'll do kind of like a declutter every couple years because we see a decluttering, video on YouTube. And that's when everything goes out. So this is one of those insidious ones that you don't really think about, but it is costing us about $150 a year.
I mean, just in sunscreen. Just think about sunscreen. You buy it one year and then it sits in your closet and then it feels weird and goopy the next season and you throw it away. Like just that.
I don't do that, but I buy the cheap stuff. So
some people might.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next one, which is impulse buying. So this is online, in apps, in retail. CNBC reports that an average of $3,768 per person annually, or $314 per month, gets spent on impulse buys. Now, if you have done a 90-day transaction inventory, which we highly recommend in our book, Buy What You Love Without Going Broke, which theoretically would be right here if we were in our office. But maybe it will be in a graphic on the screen. I don't
imagine it. Even if it's not a graphic, imagine it.
But we talk about doing a 90-day transaction inventory so you can get an idea of realistically what you are impulse buying. Not all impulse buys are wastes of money. And you will put me on record saying that because there are some impulse buys that I've made that I'm like, yes, this is everything I needed it to be. It fulfilled its purpose. So glad. Unfortunately, that is not the majority. About 60% of impulse shoppers say they've regretted at least one impulse purchase, with Bankrate's 2023 survey showing 57 to 68%, depending on the time frame. So some of these are getting wasted. And so we're going to estimate that at around $2,260. So if we're doing if we're making a couple impulse spends a year,
It sounds like a lot, but if you are to think about the entire year,
Hmm.
that can really add up. If you are
If
making
you're,
multiple impulse purchases monthly, which most people are, then this is the number you're going to arrive to by
yeah,
the end of the year.
more often than not, the impulse buy will be regretted. Not every time,
Yeah.
but let us know in the comments if we're like, what's the last impulse purchase you made that you regretted, and the last one you made that you really loved, and
Regret.
tell me you
Yeah.
can't think of one that you really love.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, there are few and far between.
Yeah. Thankfully, you can return a lot of things, but a lot of times we don't. We miss the window
Hmm.
or it just is too much work. Okay, number 5, apparel and services. So we're talking clothes, tailoring, dry cleaning. The average person is spending $810 per year. So, in some numbers from UK's WRAP, WRAP, I don't know what that stands for, but they found that 30% of clothing is unworn for an entire year. So, if similar behavior holds for those of us in the US, that would imply $240 a person of unused apparel. And so in the US, a survey shows that 21% of women versus 15% of men often buy clothes that end up unused. That comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Hmm.
And when it comes to jewelry, the average person spends about $58 per year. And a lot of pieces just sit
Yeah, they do.
unworn. I think that's the like, how do I know if it's wasted? I mean, are you wearing it? Are you wearing it at all in the entire year?
Yeah.
And what is kind of the cost per wear? That's actually a calculator that we have in our budget spreadsheet. Again, frugalfriendspodcast.com/budget, where you can see how many times would I have to wear it to make the cost per use worth it to me.
Hmm.
You get to decide what that
Yeah.
is. Do you want it to be, a dollar per wear? Do you not mind if it's a $10 per wear? You decide. But that can kind of help us before we make some of these purchases so that they're not wasted
Hmm.
in the end.
So we're gonna say about $240 per person of unused per year. Our next one, this is number 6. So if you've tuned out, come back to me. This is the kicker. This is gonna ruffle some feathers, and I want to know what you think about it. So please, please be here. Number 6 is too much housing, too much house. And so many people, I feel like, are house poor
Mhm.
because either A, it's just right now it's hard to get into the housing market at all. But I think from maybe if you bought 5 or so years ago, I don't know. But the studies show that the median size of a new single family home sold in 2024 was 2,146 square feet. Per Wikipedia, the average US home offers 700, the recommended is 700 square foot per person, or average is 7, which is 50 to 100% more than other high income countries. That's other high income countries. So we're buying 50 to 100% more house than other high income countries. Meanwhile, 2022 analysis showed that by 2020, households averaged 926 square feet per person, up from 477 square feet per person in 1970. So we took these averages, and they're different across the board, but we gave it like let's do a 700 square foot per person. That seems like a reasonable per person size for house. It's also what some averages will show. So, looking at that, and so you also may be familiar with this like quote from a study that says you only use 40% of your house, which is not completely accurate. It's actually from a UCLA study about they wanted to heat map the most utilized places in the house. So researchers videoed like where people were in the house, I think over 30 days. And the study showed that one family in particular, it only showed the first floor, didn't show upstairs or outside stuff. One family used 40% of their home. So 528 square feet of their 1,300 square foot home. And that was the entire family only used 528 square feet of that home. So given all of that, we'll say 700. So after doing the math of the price, the median price per square foot of a home, what people are paying, what could be reasonable, the wasted value per person of a home over a 30-year mortgage is $33,300, and that is $1,110 per person per year.
Depending on how many people?
No, I mean, that's just it's given 2.5 household family, because that's the median is 2.5. But it would be, I mean, in general, I don't think it gave like a house size, but yeah, that's
if you're just paying so much more per square foot.
That's a waste of 215 square feet.
Yeah.
That right there. So that's $155 per square foot. I know you cannot get that here. You cannot get a house for $155 a square foot here.
Right.
So that's just median.
Yeah.
So think about that. I know it's hard when you're thinking about home buying because it is so expensive to live anywhere. But maybe you're just thinking about renting. Maybe you're thinking, instead of the $2,500 place, we go with the $2,000 place.
Yeah.
So
thinking about how much space you actually need, because it's not just how much you're going to pay in square footage, it's how much you're going to pay to heat and cool the space, how much water you're going to be using if you have so many extra bathrooms, how much it's going to cost when other things inevitably need to be replaced. A larger home means a larger roof. A larger home often means a larger yard. A larger home means more of your time taken to clean it. And
more
even if you're
taxes,
paying
more
somebody, then
insurance.
you're paying them to spend more time cleaning. So every single cost goes up when you're thinking, oh, but I need this many bedrooms, or I need it to have this many living rooms. Really weigh it out. What could my time and energy and other money actually buy my family if maybe we had 3 bedrooms instead of 4? If we had 2,000 square feet instead of 2,500.
Yes. If you have the option, this is the biggest impact change you can make to your personal finances. There is nothing else you can do that will have a bigger change than where you live. And so if it is an option that you are moving or buying, then it should be considered. It's not an option for everyone, but if it is for you, this is the single most important financial decision you would make besides the person that you legally marry. So,
all right, number 7 is cable and satellite TV.
And
sounds a little
video.
boring, but
I know we'll include like rental, stream, download, all that stuff.
All
too.
that stuff. Okay, so the average spend per person on this subset of entertainment is $223 per year. And so the amount that is wasted, and again, wasted meaning unused, so just forgetting that you have subscriptions to some of these different things, 42% of consumers forgot about a subscription. They just kept paying for it. So
that happened to me.
Yeah. Well, apparently it happened to us, the Frugal friends.
It happened. Yes. I just canceled 4, they call them zombie subscriptions. I just canceled 4 of them last week.
Which is insane.
Right?
Yeah. So yeah, when it comes to streaming video, the average spend per year is $58, which that does not seem right. I mean, most people are spending that amount per month.
Yeah. I mean, we tried to keep it conservative.
Yeah.
So
okay, but per person.
Per person,
if you
right.
were to like break down a Netflix
2.4
subscription.
Yeah, they're saying a 2.4 person home.
Yeah.
is the average.
Okay. So a CNET 2025 survey finds that the average American wastes $205 a year on subscriptions they rarely or never use. And a Self Financial to the 2024 survey found that subscribers are wasting $32 a month on unused paid subscriptions. So all of this comes to all of this comes to $395 per year. And so let's split the difference and say it's a waste of about $300 a year.
So that's another sell for the 90-day transaction inventory. Go do it. See what you are paying for every month. You could be, and this was something we've talked about all the time, you and your partner could be paying for the same thing every month accidentally, and you see it and you're like, oh, I'm using that, and not realizing that you're both paying for it.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. So check it and cancel those zombie subscriptions. Next is another doozy, and it is another one I need you to come back to me for. Buying new cars. And we did in our car episode, we highlighted a creator who talked about like car trauma. And I think women especially are maybe drawn, like typically we are more financially savvy, I would say, than our male counterparts. Nothing against men. I just think that we save money better.
Mhm.
You know,
We're a little bit more risk averse.
we're a little bit more risk averse. And so typically used cars would be something that we might, be attracted to. They save a lot of money. But car trauma is real. Being in old used cars that break down and you're alone on the side of the road at night as a woman, that's scary. Having to go to the mechanic shop and feeling like you're getting taken advantage of or ripped off, like because you're a woman, like all of this is real. All of it happens, and it leads to us buying new cars so that we don't have to worry about that as much. Unfortunately, new cars are now having as many issues as used cars. And we talk all about that in our car episode. And the only thing that I will say is that there is a radical middle, right? We don't have to buy like these super used junky cars. We don't have to buy the cheapest car available. We also don't have to buy a brand new car to get a very safe and reliable one. 3 to 5 years old is this sweet spot. I like 3 years old to me feels like a very sweet spot because the depreciation, Kelly Blue Book's latest breakdown shows that a car depreciates about 16% in year 1 and then 12% in year 2. So for a $35,000 mass market car, a 16% loss is $5,600 in value lost in 1 year. So that is significant. And if housing is the number one choice you can make for your personal finances, your car is number 2. And we make car decisions a lot more often than housing.
And cars are a depreciating asset. So yeah, any car that you buy, it's going to be worth less than the day that you bought it, whether it's new or used, but all the more reason to make a really prudent decision with our car buying choices that yes, it's used, but it's not a junker, that we've done our research on the types of issues that it might have and not waste a ton of money.
Carcomplaints.com has been a really reliable source for me when I'm looking at complaints about different makes and models, because not every car from a specific brand is created equal. And even in really reliable cars, maybe 1 year is less reliable than another. So carcomplaints.com has been a reliable source that I use for testing.
Moving right along, number 9, video games. I'm not sure how many of you out here are buying video games, although Jen says she is a lot.
This one's here for me because I don't buy the video games. Travis buys the video games, and then our 6-year-old sits on the video games, and doesn't go outside, and it's very difficult. And so I think video games are a waste of money.
So moms are buying video games for their kids. The average person spends $27 a year on video games. I don't think that's true. If you're gaming,
I think it's more skewed to people who do buy video games, and it's like including video game hardware, accessories, online gaming apps. So this is across the board.
so if you're not using 25 to 30% of what they say is typical for what's not being used, then that's $9 a year. This is small.
$9 a year.
This is pennies. I wouldn't worry too much about this unless you're a gamer.
Worry about it. Do worry.
Okay. Moving on. Televisions. So the average US TV home, like a home that has a TV, has about 2.5 sets of TVs. So that's like your per person. Like every person has a TV.
I have 2 TV sets.
I have 1.
And there we go.
So, okay. Between the two of us, we have 2.5. Yeah. Which sounds small, but it equates to roughly 25 million TV sets sitting unused. So the average TV price is $433. There's too much math going on.
Well, okay, outline. So the value of the devices that are discarded, so the TVs that end up in the dump annually, that's about $15.4 million every year, essentially. So I think with Black Friday and all these sales that are really big that get you to buy TVs, and I'm looking specifically at Black Friday because that is coming up, people get, oh, it's such a good deal. I haven't gotten a new TV in a while. And just go out and get a deal on a TV.
Yeah.
When really the TV is fine. It can be used for another year or two,
And TV prices have gone down a ton too over the years. So even keep that in mind. Wait a little longer and that TV that you're oogling right now will be even more affordable in a few years.
For sure. Like it is something that now you used to have to save up for a nice TV, and now you can really easily impulse buy a TV.
Yeah.
And so that equates with that amount of discarded television waste equals about to $51 per year of waste. Because again, we're not doing it all in the same year. And I think the solution to that is just to keep your TV a little longer, especially if you are a 2 TV household. If one of them breaks, just watch the other one until a really good sale comes along and you can get a new second one.
So true.
Yeah.
All right. Number 12, recreational lessons, gym classes. This is talking fitness, dance. The estimated amount wasted is $58 per year per person. So this is your missed classes, your unused services, whether that's the gym. I mean, usually, mostly
I think
the
it's
gym.
mostly the gym.
Yeah, the gym specifically has widely underused. The gym specifically is widely underutilized. And so industry reports show large shares of memberships go unused for months. And so we just need to catch it before that and cancel these subscriptions.
Yeah, and we do eventually, but not before wasting money. The next one is pet stuff. So reports show that pet owners spend about $378 per year per pet or per person. I'm not sure which one, because a lot of households have multiple pets. But wasted, obviously not food. They need toys. They need, their leashes and stuff. Stuff they don't use or need, right? I don't think pet costumes are wasted, if I'm being honest. Put your pet in that costume. But all of the fancy treats, unless they're like for training purposes, the extra add-ons at the groomer for like just a little bandana, all of these extra things that pets can have and people love to spend on their pets, a lot of it is wasted. And so I would say that out of that, so a realistic midpoint on waste from what's reported to be spent on pet stuff is about $8.6 billion per year, or about $90 per pet owning household. So per pet, per household.
Number 14 is coffee. That's right. Coming at you, coming for you. This is a tough one because most of us are not actually wasting the coffee. Like the coffee is getting drank. However, it still could be a little bit of a not great way of spending our money if we're constantly buying it out. This could be where we're breaking our own rule and saying it's a little bit of a waste of money to be spending $6 on a coffee, potentially 5 times a week, maybe more than that. That could be $30 a week. Whereas, Jen, you love to give this specific example that a Stoke cold brew, this is Jen's favorite
It's a
apparently,
big thing that you get from the grocery store.
with a syrup or creamer can be about $30 per month. So this is more so talking about a savings of $1,200 per year. So not a wasting amount, but a
Right.
savings
If
amount
you
you
don't
could
do
get.
this, you're wasting $1,200 a year,
Mhm.
in my
If
opinion.
you don't do it
Because you have
Jen's
to-
way.
You have to examine at some point why. Why do I need to get a Starbucks every day? Why do I need to get a coffee every time I walk into a particular place? Why? There's no like caffeinated reason that most of the time we need this. We just like it, and that's fine. But how do I get what I like
Yeah.
for less money? And I think that's an exercise we should run on all the habits that we have. Next is reading. And I'm going to come for book
Oh no, again.
because they did not like it when we came for them the first time about the overconsumption of books in our hobby episode, how social media is ruining hobbies. Truly, people with like stacks of 40 books and then bragging about how their TBR, to be read, is like 40 books high and they just bought another book. That's not a flex. Books truly are fundamental. They're great. They're fantastic. There were people in our comments being like, but I like to annotate. You're annotating what? Twilight? You're
Maybe.
annotating ACOTAR? Like, what are you doing? Why?
Maybe they are reading the more academic books.
Okay, if you're reading a textbook and you like to annotate, that's different. But like, your fairy smut does not need to be highlighted and noted.
So this could be a waste of $10 per year. Still small amounts of money, but we've all got to focus in on where am I unusing?
This is
things?
truly a median because people who fall into book talk are truly
Could be wasting more.
They are on a different
Absolutely.
level. At $25 a book, it's hundreds of dollars a year. But at a conservative level, 10.
Okay. 16, tech upgrades, equipment, services. The average amount of money spent per person per year is $425. And so this can be wasted on new tech or services that we just don't use. I mean, someone just commented on one of our like things I wish I didn't buy, talking about AirPods, how they don't fit. And so, yeah, then that's like wasted money on tech because it doesn't work for me the way that I thought it would, the way that other people told me that it would. And so this can then amount to about $200 wasted per person.
I give this example in our book about buying the newest iPhone, how if you would just wait an extra year and keep your iPhone for an extra year over, your entire lifetime, you're buying probably 5 fewer iPhones. That's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars saved. And sure, you can pay over time. You might be getting a quote unquote free phone, but then it limits you from the phone provider you're able to use too. So you wouldn't be able to use a service like Mint, where you can get $15 a month service if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So there are other costs associated with upgrading tech too often. And not that you never can upgrade it, but we tend to upgrade it too often.
Yeah.
And our very last one
Woo!
is takeout.
Coming for me this time.
Yeah, not all takeout is a waste. And obviously you eat it, so it's not quote unquote wasted. But honestly, like food you get delivered because you didn't make a meal plan or follow through with your meal plan, and the fees, the delivery fees and the tips associated with all of that, and even potentially like restaurant food that you take home and don't eat. So like that's a little bit that we'll throw in there too.
Food you didn't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't like a coffee. I tried a new fall coffee and I didn't like it. Girl, I kept that thing and went back the next day and handed it to them. They're like, I'm sorry. I did not communicate well what I did not like. It is my fault. Can I get the iced coffee I usually get? And they were like, sure. And it's not like I was complaining or being mad or
The
mean to
next
them.
day,
Well, yeah.
you held on to the coffee. You're like, I don't like this. The next day, you put that curdled milk back on their counter. And
It
you
is
were
an
like,
iced coffee.
give me a new thing now
I
today.
did not demand.
Wow.
I asked because I wanted to prove that I didn't drink it and that I'm just trying to get a freebie. Is that weird?
The
Please
next
defend me in the
day?
comments or trash me in the comments. Let me know. I don't know. But I
It's
thought it was
bold.
a good thing.
It's at least bold.
But on the topic of like foods you don't like, I'm
Yeah.
getting a little off. But so I would venture to say, so data shows about $1,100 to $1,200 per person on takeout per year, about $200 per person per year in fees. So I would venture to say around $1,000 per year we spend on takeout that we didn't really need to get, plus the fees and tips associated with all of that.
Yeah.
Is probably conservative.
Do you know what's not wasted?
It's outside of the $14,000 that we just covered in the episode.
The bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hi, Jen and Jill. My name is Jennifer. I've been listening to the podcast for about a year. I have read your book. I love it. I'm excited for your course in May, and I wanted to submit my bill of the week. So I have been paying for lawn service for about as long as I can remember. And this year I decided I was done with it. I bought myself a brand new electric mower. The lawnmower guys started circling the neighborhood about 3 weeks before I would have even entertained the idea of mowing. But I was able to do that. It is the 1st of June. This will also give me an opportunity to be outside a little bit more and get some fresh air while feeling accomplished at doing something. So I'm really excited to have that opportunity. I know that I will probably regret this in about July, but I hope that I won't regret the extra $1,500 this year that will go back into my budget. So yeah, that's my bill of the week. Keep doing what you do, and thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Jennifer. Well, it's October when this comes out, so I hope you didn't regret it too much. But early mornings, mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it
early morning.
but I would hire a lawn service before I would do it because we live on a double lot and it is a lot of grass.
Now that we've sold our house, I don't have to mow the lawn. No one has to mow the lawn in our family anymore, but I feel you on this one. This is one of those toss-ups, right? Of what's worth it for me to do myself.
You
what
were
I
the
can
lawnmower
save
in your family.
Yeah. Save the money versus what's worth hiring out. And so for you, it sounds like I'd rather put that $1,500 back in my pocket. I'll do it. But that's the thing for us to identify what's utilized and worth it and valuable, what's unused, underutilized. I'm just going to cancel this thing and find alternatives. And it sounds like you found what works for you.
Yeah.
And if you all listening have a bill that you want to share, if it's about canceling a bill or paying a bill that you just love paying, or taking one of these tips and just really making it work for you, or being Bill, frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us your bill. And now it's time for the lightning round.
What's something you've wasted money on recently? I'll be very transparent. I forgot to cancel a credit card that I meant to cancel, and I paid the $150 fee for it. I could not get it reversed.
Oh,
So, that maybe has only happened to me like once or twice in my life. So I'll take it. That it was a dumb move.
yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
For me, it's replacing keys. I lost my keys. Now we live in an apartment. Here's something I have to keep track of: key fobs. And I thought that I had the perfect solution, but that solution fell off of my purse when we were out and about in public. Couldn't find it, so had to buy new keys. I don't know if it's like goes under the category of like unused, but
Yeah.
it feels like a waste.
Yeah. We didn't have a category for forgetting. But maybe we should have. Maybe stuff we forget should have been a category. So thank you so much for listening to all these wastes. Let us know in the comments if there are wastes that we forgot, or if you disagree with any of our wastes. And maybe how much you've wasted on things and overcome, and now how much you're saving. And if you have gotten anything out of any of our episodes or our book, please let us know in the comments, in a review on Spotify, or for the book on Amazon. Kind of like this book review from Evan Black, which happens to be 5 stars. Says, I've gone through phases in my life where I'm more frugal, thrifty than others. I hit the thrift shops hard in high school, for example, and recently discovered the thrill. I also had a Dave Ramsey phase. And lately, I've gone down the buy nothing rabbit hole. Jen and Jill speak to all these different parts of me so clearly and use all the best lessons learned from each phase to create a holistic new lifestyle that I'm excited about. Values-based spending. It's a great read. It's conversational, educational all at once, and requires just the right amount of self-reflection. I'm definitely embracing my season and saying no more thanks to these gals.
Thanks, Evan. What a cool,
Thank you.
kind review. And we all have different seasons and phases of life. So we're happy to be here for all of them for as long as you'll have us. If you also have read the book and you haven't reviewed it, please do so. Amazon's a great place. Goodreads a great place to review us. It costs you nothing. And again, feel free to, hit that button and stick around and keep enjoying this episode. Thanks,
And
everybody.
Cue up the next episode. You just heard unhinged ways to waste money. We've got an episode on unhinged ways people save money that you might like.
Yeah.